So in that, we talked about what is karma, various types of karma. Anybody remember the various types of karma we discussed?
Sukarma, vikarma and akarma.
So vikarma, sukarma, akarma, and mainly we spoke about kind of vikarma and sukarma. For every action we do, there is reaction, right? And the reaction could come in various ways. Reaction could be instant reaction, it could be little delayed reaction, it could be much delayed reaction. So sometimes reaction may come immediately within few minutes or few seconds also. Sometimes the reaction may come few hours later, sometimes the reaction may come few days later, sometimes the reaction may come few years later, or it could be after few lifetimes. So that are the different ways how we face the reaction of our karma. So, okay, plug it in. So karma, any good action which gives good result. Vikarma, any bad action which gives bad result. And the different type of reaction, as we discussed, instant reaction within few minutes, few days, little delayed reaction within few years, and really delayed reaction, it may be after few lifetimes. Now, how we can avoid the reaction of our work? That is the third topic, which is called akarma. The work which does not give any reaction. So people may be doing a lot of pious activity. So even the pious activity we do, right, some good work, somebody is feeding the poor, somebody is feeding the hungry, somebody is giving medicine to the needy, giving clothes to the needy. So all those are good activity. All those are pious activity. But even the pious activity will bring the result. And that result is also binding within this material world. So every action, no matter it's a good work or bad work, in this world, every action is binding. So what is the solution? Is there any way out then? So the solution is we need to spiritualize our pious activity. See, pious activity in itself is not enough. Pious activity will also be binding. So the solution is spiritualize the pious activity. So what does it really mean? Spiritualize the pious activity. So that's what we are going to discuss today. So in Bhagavad-Gita, there are 5 topics of Bhagavad-Gita. Anybody remember what are those 5 topics of Bhagavad-Gita?
Soul, super soul, Prakriti, material.
Okay, that is Prakriti. So time. And the 5th one we just recapped. Karma. We just recapped the 5th one. So what are the 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita? We discussed about Jiva, which is soul, Ishvara, super soul, then Prakriti, this material nature, then Kal, which is time, and then Karma, the activity. So these are the 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita. Understanding these 5 topics, we can understand kind of the essence of this. But beyond these 5 topics, there are 3 other concepts which we need to understand. What are these 3 different concepts, the 3 different terms which are described in various ways in Bhagavad Gita? So these 3 terms we are going to talk about are Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Okay, so remember these 3 words. Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. This may be a little heavy term, but you will understand it with few examples what it really means. So for example, we want to understand who am I, what is my relationship with the Supreme Lord. So that is Sambandha, understanding our relationship with the Supreme Lord. Now the goal is, what is written here?
Passport.
Passport for what?
Back to God.
Back to Godhead. See, when you want to go to a different country, what do you need?
Passport.
A passport and a visa, right? So you need a passport and you need a visa for that country to go back to, or to go to that country. So same way, we want to develop our relationship with Krishna, and we want to go back to Krishna. So that is going back to Godhead. But for that we need a passport and a visa. If you want to come to USA, so you have developed a relationship. I got a job in USA. A relationship is developed. So goal is, now I want to come to USA. Right? I want to come, I want to get settled here. So that is your goal. In between there is a process. What is the process?
Visa.
So you have to apply for a visa. You have to go to the embassy, go to the interview. All that process is there in between. So initial understanding the relation. Final is the goal, achieving that. And in between there is a process. So Sambandha is understanding the relationship. That is called Sambandha Gyan. So understanding, I am the soul, the living entity. I am connected with Krishna. Krishna is the super soul. He is the Supreme Father. And I have a relationship with my Supreme Father. So understanding that relation, that is Sambandha Gyan. Final word is Prayojana. Prayojana is goal, the end goal. What is the end goal? I want to go back to Krishna. I want to go back to spiritual world from where I came, where I originally belong. So going back to Krishna, that is the ultimate goal. That is Prayojana. And in between, there is a process. We have to do something to become eligible to go back to Krishna. That process in between is called Abhideya. So Abhideya is the process in between. So remember these three words: Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Okay, these words in our Bhakti discussion, these three words come very often actually if you want to really understand. It's a very simple terminology. Understanding the relation, developing the end goal, and in between following the process. For everything, it applies to everything. I will give you a few examples. So student understand, yes, I am a student in 10th grade and he is my teacher. So let's say, just imagine example. It doesn't matter you really accept it from your heart or not. That's up to you, right? So you come here to attend this journey of self-discovery. So you know, okay, right now I'm the student for this course. And somebody who is speaking on this, he is the teacher for this course. So you understand that relationship. Finally, you want to really understand and get the ultimate goal of attending this series. What is that? Understanding about why there are problems in life, why there is so much distress in life, but what really I can do to become happy. And in between there is a process. What is the process in between?
Understanding that.
Understanding, you come to the class, sit down attentively, listen, maybe make notes. So there is a process in between, right? So for everything there is a process. A student is there in 10th grade, he knows this is my teacher, this is my math teacher, this is my science teacher, and my ultimate goal is to get, either somebody has the goal of just getting passed from the class, somebody has the goal of getting A grade in the class. So you understand the relation, you understand the final goal, and in between there is a process. So to achieve that goal, I have to study, I have to attend classes, I have to submit my assignments, I have to appear in the exam, I have to follow the instructions of the teacher. So in between there is a process. Everything. Anything in material life also, you can understand this. For everything there is a process. Another very beautiful example. A girl is getting married in a house, right? Getting married to some particular house. So a relationship is developed at the time of engagement. So somebody brought that match, right? Somebody is a matchmaker, they brought the match. Okay, this is a very good family, a nice boy, this is a good fit for your girl. So he brought the relation and they accepted the proposal. So the relation is established. Yes, now this girl is going to go to that house. Relation is developed. That is sambandha. Priyojana is, what is the priyojana? The girl after marriage, she finally goes to the house. She wants to get the love of all the family members. She wants to get the love of her husband. She wants to have a very good relationship there in the family. Stay happy there. That is the prayojana, the goal. Now in between, there is a process. A wedding date is fixed. A venue is fixed. Catering is fixed. Purohit is fixed. The whole wedding ceremony is performed. The girl comes to the house of the boy. Right? She comes to the house of the in-laws. Now after coming there also there is a process. She has to follow certain things to get the ultimate goal. Show respect to the elders. Show love to the younger ones. Right? Have a mutual understanding, mutual relationship. Then the overall relationship prospers. But if somebody doesn't want to follow that process, she wants to get into argument, she wants to get into quarrel with everybody. Why should I work for everybody? Why should I serve everybody? Am I the servant? मैं क्या दूसरों की नौकर रखी हूँ? So if we get into that kind of argument, if there is no cooperation, there is no mutual understanding, what will happen? There will be chaos.
This is gone.
Or maybe somebody is interfering in between. If the girl's father or girl's mother is interfering, oh, why you are doing so much work? Are you the servant of that house? You just work for yourself or work for your husband. Why you have to work for your father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, for everybody? You just do the work for yourself. So if that kind of interferences keep coming in between, what will happen?
Distraction.
There will be chaos. So like that, the understanding the relation, there is a final goal. In between, there is a process. So if we follow that process nicely, we will develop the ultimate goal. We will get the ultimate goal. More example you need, or you understood the concept?
Yes.
I will give you one more example. So you want to buy a car, 2022 Buick Enclave or 2022 Cadillac XLS or whatever it is. So you develop a desire, I want to buy this car. A relationship is developed. I want to bring this car home. So you have a desire, I want to buy this car. You have developed a relationship with that car. Final goal is to bring the car home, park it on your driveway or in your garage. Right? So you want to buy that car, and in between there is a process. What is the process? You go to the dealership. You select a trim level, what particular, all the features I really want. I want a LT or a XLS, what particular trim level I want. I want a OnStar system or I don't want that. What kind of package you want. Then which color you want, which trim level you want. Finally, how you are going to make the payment. Do you want to get a loan or you want to pay full cash? So all those processes there in between. So you finish all those formalities in between. That is abhideya, the process in between. So the first step is establishing a relationship. Yes, I want to get this thing. Final goal is to achieve that. And in between there is a process that is called abhideya. So sambandha, abhideya, priyojana. So far we have discussed these 5 topics of Bhagavad-Gita. We are not the body, we are the spirit soul. Krishna, he is the Supreme Lord, he is the master controller of everybody. We have a relationship with him, he is our Supreme Father, and we need to go back to him. We understood the relation. And we understood we are doing so many activity here in this material world and we are binding ourselves in this material world. We need to free ourselves from those bondages and become eligible to go back to Krishna. So we have understood the sambandha, we have understood the prayojana, and in between now what do we do? How do we do? What is this akarma? How we really do that akarma? So for that, in Bhagavad-Gita, Lord Krishna speak about various yoga system. Okay? So that is our topic for today actually, the yoga ladder. Everybody has heard the term yoga?
Yes.
But as soon as we speak about yoga, what comes in our mind? As soon as you hear the word yoga, what comes in your mind?
Meditation exercise.
Some exercise, somebody sitting in some particular posture, lotus posture, or what is that, upside down posture? What is that called? Shirsasana. Somebody sitting in Shirsasana, Padmasana, or whichever, or this particular asana, somebody putting one leg from the back and bringing from the other side. Is that really what we speak about yoga? And generally, that's what people understand, what people think about yoga, right? Yoga means some physical exercise, some physical posture, or some samadhi, some dhyan, meditation. And purpose is to clear the mind from various thoughts or to gain some physical health. That's what people think of yoga. Yoga means some exercise for physical health. Meditation means some meditation, some dhyana for peace of mind, to remove some negative thoughts. But is that really what yoga means? So in Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 6, text 46, what does Krishna say? Tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi, jnanebhyo api mato adhikah, karmebhyascha adhiko yogi, tasmat yogi bhava Arjuna. So Krishna says in every situation, become a yogi. So when Krishna is saying become a yogi, is Krishna saying, okay, sit in a meditation pose or just do some asana? That is what yoga means. He said, tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi. From an austere person, better is a yogi. Jnanibhyo cha api mato adhika. For a jnani also, better is a yogi. Karmebhyascha adhiko yogi. From a karmi also, better is a yogi. Tasmat yogi bhav Arjuna. So hey Arjuna, in all situation, become a yogi. So what does this yoga really mean? Krishna is not talking about some severe austerity, tapasya. Krishna is saying better than some artificial tapasya is become a yogi. Better than a karmi is become a yogi. Better than a jnani is become a yogi. And we know there are different type of yoga concepts. Something is called Karama Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. So what are all these various type of yoga? So we have to understand what yoga really means first of all. So yoga is not something what we say somebody is sitting in a lotus posture, meditating on something. So let's first discuss what is not yoga. Okay, before we come to yoga, let's understand what is not yoga. Yoga is not just sitting in some posture. There are so many different yoga concepts which is popularized these days. Yoga for blood pressure, yoga for physical and mental health, office yoga, chair yoga, yoga for kittens, pregnancy yoga, yoga for weight loss, desktop yoga, yoga tennis, yoga for business success, yoga for back care, Bikram yoga, hot yoga, this yoga, that yoga, somebody is doing hot yoga, somebody is doing cold yoga, somebody is doing outdoor yoga, somebody is doing indoor yoga. There are so many different concepts of yoga which has been popularized these days. In the Western world especially, you see every few days there are more and more yoga centers opening up. And what is the ultimate purpose there?
That is only physical.
Some physical exercise for health benefit or some mental benefit. But that is not what yoga really means. We'll discuss later. Actually, all these things, physical posture or some meditation, is only a small portion of yoga. A particular yoga called Dhyana Yoga. So these things is just a small portion of that overall yoga system. We'll see when we say the word yoga, in our mind, some yogi comes in the mind with some long mated hair, somebody doing tapasya in the Himalayas, or in the forest, somebody sitting there with just the langot and no clothes, and he is doing severe austerities. Somebody is standing upside down. So is this really yoga? Somebody is putting his head down and thinking, see, I can do such a great posture. Nobody else can do. I have such a great flexibility. So that is not really what yoga means. Somebody coming up in the public and showing their physical flexibility. We can do this kind of posture, that kind of posture. There are many people in the Western world also, they have developed so much of flexibility, they can twist them around and pack in a small box. Right? They have developed that kind of flexibility. And then they will come in the public, do public shows, gain some fame, or gain some income, make as a source of income. So is that really yoga? So we have to understand what is really yoga. Some people think, I have developed some siddhis, some mystic power. I can fly in the air. I can lift myself up from the ground. I can walk on fire. I can walk on water. So there are many mystic people like that. Right? Somebody claiming I can walk on water, I can walk on fire, I can walk on the burning coal. Once, there was one such yogi. He performed severe austerities for 20, 30 years. And because of that, he got some special mystic power, siddhi. Then he comes out in the public and is doing a show. See, I can walk on water. I can walk on the river, from one side of the river to the other side of the river. I can walk on the river. And people will come, all the villages and villages all together, they will come to watch this person walking on the water. So such a great magic, right? It's such a great achievement. So somebody, Prabhupada's disciple, they told Prabhupada, there is a great yogi, he can walk on the water. And many people come to watch him. And Prabhupada said, what is so great about him? See, I can go on the river and I can pay 1 rupee to the boatman and he will take me from one side of the boat to the river to the other side of the river. So what does it really take to go from one side of the river to other side of the river? 1 rupee. Pay the boatman 1 rupee, he will take you there. So all the result of 20 years of austerity of that person is just 1 rupee value. That is not the purpose of yoga. That is not the purpose of performing such austerities, to develop that kind of mystic powers. Yes, there are mystic powers. These are called siddhis. And there are 9 different categories of siddhis, what people can develop. Or 8 type of siddhi, ashta siddhi. But that is not really the purpose of yoga. That is not really yoga. The root word yoga, yujjati iti yoga. So the yoga word, it comes from the root word yujja. Yujja means to connect. And what does this connection mean? What does we connect? So yujja, it's a root word, root dhatu, union, to join, to connect. So joining the living entity with the super soul, that is called the yoga. So the process of yoga is to connect ourselves with the Supreme Lord. So the perfection, the perfect union of Jivatma with Paramatma is called yoga. That is from Agni Puran, the definition of yoga. Now, the different types of human being, first we understand how they connect themselves to various processes. It's important to understand what are the different type of people. Broadly, we can put people into 2 categories. What are the 2 categories of people? Atheist and theist, right? Astik and Nastik. So there are 2 categories of people. One who believe in God, another one who does not believe in God. So one is the category who are the law abiders, the laws of God. And the second category is who does not abide in the laws of God. So atheist and theist. So lawbreaker and law abiders. Now the lawbreaker also, atheist also, we can divide into two categories. What are these two categories? The one is who is completely in the philosophy, do as you like, do not care for anything else, just act what you do what you want to do. Khao piyo moj karo. This is the only life, just fulfill your life, right? Just enjoy. Doesn't matter what others you do to others and all that. So
Like communist.
that is one category of atheist who is having no moral principles also, no moral values also. Another category of atheist is who is at least, even though he does not believe in God, but he has some moral values. Okay, his principle is do good, be good. Just be good, don't harm others, but he doesn't believe in God. That is also atheist only. So just be good and do good. And another category of atheist is he doesn't care about others, just you need to enjoy yourself. In that process, whatever you have to do, just do as you like. You have heard the statement? There are many t-shirts with this Nike sign.
Just do it.
Just do it. Right? What does that mean? Just do it. Don't worry about what other think, what other do, and what other care. You don't have to worry about others. Just do whatever is feel good to you, feel right to you. Just do that. Just do it. So now, morality without God also is of no value. Even if somebody is thinking I'm a very moral person but does not believe in the laws of God, that morality without God is also useless. First of all, morality is also a very relative term. What could be considered immoral 100 years back may be considered perfectly moral these days. Right? Somebody could consider a particular thing as immoral. Nobody will think about doing that kind of thing 100 years back, but now that become fashion. Any example? Abortion, divorce. 100 years back, even in the Western world, divorce was unheard of. Right? Even though in Western world also there was some family values. People will live together, stay together, have a nice family value, but now it has become a fashion. 1 year, 2 years later, you don't want to stay with each other, you don't like each other, just separate. What is big deal? Divorce. So what was considered immoral 100 years back now is completely moral. Your life, your choice, whatever you want to do. As Mati said, abortion. 100 years back, even 50 years back, abortion was considered such an immoral, sinful activity. Now, it is considered perfectly moral, perfectly alright. It's okay. Her body, her choice. That is the statement used. Her body, her choice. So morality also is a very relative term, and morality without God in the picture is useless. Once there were a group of thieves. So they had a robbery in the bank. So first of all, they stole others' property, right? They had a robbery in the bank. So all these thieves, they ran away, they went to the forest. And as they reached the forest, escaped from the cops, after going there, the leader or one of the thieves, he told other thieves, see, now we have got all this booty. We have got all this wealth now. We have stole all this. Now, let's divide honestly among ourselves. So what kind of honesty is this? First of all, you steal from others, right? You stole others' property. Now you're saying, let's honestly divide among ourselves. So that is morality without God in the picture. We are stealing the property of God. We are using everything which is gifted to us by God. And we think, now I want to be a very good person. I'm a very nice person. So atheists, they belong in these two categories. this atheist philosophy, do as you like, is not a new concept actually. Earlier also there was a Muni, Charvak Muni, very famous personality, famous or infamous, whatever you want to claim. His philosophy, you know what was his philosophy? Javat jivet sukham jivet rinam kritva dhritam pivet bhasmi bhutasya dehasya kuta punaragmano bhavet. What does it say? Jab tak jiyo, sukh se jiyo. Till your life is there, live life king size. Beg, borrow or steal, live life king size. Javat jivet sukham jivet rinam kritva dhritam pivet. Rinam kritva, either you beg or borrow or you steal from others, drink ghee. Dhritam pivet. Bhasmi bhutasya dehasya. When this body is finished, everything will burn up into ashes. Nothing is left. Who has seen the next life? Who has seen the soul? Who has seen God? Who has seen next life? Who has seen Swarga? Who has seen Narka? Why you worry about all these things? Just enjoy your life. Be good. Just enjoy. Khao piyo mauj karo. So that is people's mentality, people's thought process. But all these law-abiding people also now, if we consider, there is a progression of consciousness. What is this progression of consciousness? So the first category of people, they're called hard-working materialist. They will work very hard. They're called karmi. Okay, the definition, the word used is karmi. Hard-working materialist. What is their whole consciousness is? Follow the rules and regulation, that is fine. Just following the rules and regulation. Earn as much as you can, work hard as much as you can, make it big in this world. So they are called like sophisticated animals. They want to be the controller, they want to be the enjoyer, do not discriminate between anything. They don't believe in the soul or the rebirth or the spiritual world. Yes, maybe something is there, but just work hard, make it big in this world. That is called karmi. And the law abiders, now I'm just giving you this flow chart here. See, in the karma, who are doing this karma also, what is the category? There is sakama karma and a nishkama karma. So one is acting, one is doing the work, working very hard with the desire to enjoy. So he follows the rules and regulation, right? There may be many people who go to temple. Let's just keep the God also very happy so that he can keep providing us. He removes our troubles and keep giving us the benefits. So just follow the rules and regulation. Work with the desire to gain everything. That is called sakam. Sakam karma. So sa plus kam. Kama means desire. So acting with the desire to gain. That is called sakam. So that person, his whole consciousness is just work hard, get money, get everything, get all the opulences of this world, enjoy. And then that person slowly, if the person understanding matures, it comes to the level of Nishkama Karma. Nishkama Karma means everything is going to finish at the end of life. Why I should get so much attachment to these things? Let me try to do welfare for others. Let me serve others. Working without any desire. Nishkama Karma. So earlier that person is working with the desires to enjoy. There's another category who want to serve others, who want to do welfare for others, who want to act without any selfish motive. Right? So that is pious activity. Nishkama. I don't have any personal desires. Let me just do good for others. But still, there is no connection with God yet. God is not in the picture. There will be many people like that in this world who say, just be good, do good to others. So that is Nishkama Karma. And then comes the first category of yoga called Karama Yoga. So what is Karama Yoga? The root word is yoga, means to connect, to unite ourselves with the Supreme God, Yuj. And when we connect our work with God, when we connect our activity with God, it's called Karama Yoga. Right? So how do we do Karama Yoga? What people do for Karama Yoga? So the different type of yoga, let me tell first here. Karama Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. So these are the different yoga processes. And now when we talk about all these different yoga processes, are they different path to attain the same goal? Many people in this world, they think, oh, you are a Karama Yogi, I am a Gyan Yogi, he is a Dhyana Yogi, the other person is a Bhakti Yogi. Ultimately everything is same. Ultimately everything is leading to God. So they are all different paths leading to the same goal. Is it really so? So we have to understand, is Karama Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, are they different paths leading to the same goal? Scriptures define actually that is not the case. These are not the different paths leading to the same goal. Actually, these are the different rungs of the same ladder, which is progressively taking us higher and higher and higher towards that one goal. If somebody is a Karama Yogi, he thinks others as inferior. Karama Yogi, he is very karmat, he is very hardworking. He thinks, see, I am working so hard, I am contributing to the society, I am doing so much thing. And look at these people, these Bhakti Yogis, these Bhaktas, they are sitting in the temple and just clapping the hands or ringing the bells. They are good for nothing. So a Karama Yogi, he may be thinking of others as an inferior person. A Gyan Yogi, he may think, see, I am a superior person. I understand. See, ultimately everything is going to be waste. Nothing is going to stay. All this is temporary. This is all Maya. See, I have such a knowledge. And all these people, see, they are just wasting their life, running behind different things. So he may be thinking of Karmi or other people as inferior. And a yogi, Ashtanga Yogi, he may think, see, I am such an austere person, I can sit for hours and hours in this posture. Can somebody sit like me? Is somebody flexible like me who can do this tough, difficult posture? And a Bhakti Yogi, he is actually compassionate towards others. You know, ultimately everything is Thakurji, Bhagwan ka hai sab kuch, everything is Krishna's. These people are running behind any of these things, all these things, they are just wasting their time. So everybody is thinking like that. So what is the right concept? What is higher? Karama Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, what are the differences? Are these a different path leading to same goal? So these are the different rungs of the same ladder, leading us to the one same goal. For example, if you are going to a 100-story building, so to go to 100-story building, maybe there are different elevators or different staircases. There is one staircase which goes from the ground floor to 10th floor. And then you kind of circle around, then you find another staircase which will take you from 11th floor to further 20th, 30th floor. Then you circle around, you find another staircase which will take you further high. So there are different staircases going up to different levels of that 100-story building. But there is one staircase or there is one elevator which is going directly from ground floor to 100th floor also. So all these different yoga systems are like that. They can take you from ground to a particular level of advancement. But it's not that they will by themselves make you eligible to go to the 100th story, okay, to the supreme destination. But Bhakti Yoga is described as a process which will take you from the ground floor to the 100th floor directly, without the help of anything else. Bhakti is considered as already combining Karama, Gyana, Dhyana, everything inside that. It already contains everything. In Bhagavatam, Bhakti is described, it is the mother of Gyan and Vairagya. Bhakti is mother of Gyan and Vairagya. So there is a very beautiful story actually to illustrate that point. So not going into all those details yet. So Bhakti combines everything already. So what is this Karama Yoga? So we are at the bottom, God is at the top. And these are the different processes who help us to link us with God. So karma, linking ourselves with God with our action. That is called Karama Yoga. Gyan Yoga, linking ourselves with God through knowledge. Ashtanga Yoga, linking ourselves with God through meditation, Dhyana. And Bhakti Yoga, linking ourselves with God through devotion. So these are the different processes which help us connect or to reach to that supreme destination. So we talked about karma, Sakama Karma and Nishkama Karma. So Sakama Karma is following the process of scripture, Karma Kanda, which is called Karma Kanda. What is Karma Kanda? Following the scriptural injunctions, performing certain activities, performing certain puja, performing certain yajna for the purpose of getting some benediction. Okay, you need a son, perform this particular puja or this particular yajna, Putra Kameshti yajna. You want good health, you perform this worship. You want good intelligence or beauty or this or that. So performing particular different things as prescribed in the scripture. That is called Karma Kanda or Sakama Karma. Now the benefit of Sakama Karma, that is temporary. It doesn't last forever. Right? Even if somebody gets wealth after performing certain yajna or certain puja, by pleasing certain Devi Devata, the result of that is it's going to stay for some time, temporary. It's not going to stay forever. So Sakama Karma, that is, yes, it is prescribed in scripture, but it is very lower standard. Karma Kanda. And then the person may not have a very clear understanding of reincarnation. He does not have very clear understanding of God. He doesn't have very clear understanding of the soul. He performs just pious activity with some fruitive intention. But forgets that the good action is also binding. Right? No matter how much good activity you performed, even following the Shastra, all those good activity, they will be ultimately binding. So the Sakama Karmi, what is their tendency generally? Do good, avoid bad. Do good, avoid bad. Right? Many people have that kind of mentality. Right? You do good and try to avoid bad. But in this world, it doesn't happen like that. No matter how much you try to do good and try to avoid bad, under the influence of the modes of material nature or under the influence of the circumstances, sometimes one is forced to do something bad. Arjuna asked this question to Krishna in Bhagavad-Gita. Why am I impelled to do something wrong? Why person is impelled to do something sinful activity as if by force? So what is that which is impelling to act sinfully, forcibly? And Krishna answered that question. What is that? That is lust only, that is greed only, because of which one ends up committing sinful activity. So no matter how much we try to be good in this world, we end up committing something wrong under the influence of something. Once there was an experiment. Okay, so be good, avoid bad. On that, I'm telling you one real experimental story. Have you heard of this experiment? So once a scientist, he wanted to perform experiment. He wanted to see how the mouse react. So he put a mouse in the cage, he put a cheese there in the mouse, in the cage. Not actually cheese, he put 2 levers, okay, in the cage. The mouse goes, he presses one lever, electric shock. So he gets electric shock. He presses another lever, a small door opens, a piece of cheese comes inside. Press one lever, electric shock. Press another lever, cheese comes inside. So this mouse is trying to figure out now, okay, if I press this lever, this is bad. Shock. So don't do that. Press this lever, cheese will come out. Very nice, very good, do that. So do good, avoid bad. Press this lever, get cheese, avoid pressing this lever, avoid shock. So he's just going, pressing the lever, getting this, avoiding shock. Now after some time, the scientists switch the wires. So that's the lever from which cheese was coming. Now press that, shock is coming. And the lever by pressing which the shock was coming, now press that, cheese is coming. So his mouse is now pressing the other lever, now shock is coming, so he's bewildered. Let me try the another one. So he's doing that one. So he's trying to figure out. So he keeps switching these two terminals. And the mouse is trying to figure out, what should I avoid, what should I do? Avoid bad, do good. And in the meantime, the scientist left the door of the cage open. But the mouse is so much conditioned in that he's trying to figure out which lever to press, which to avoid. Which lever to press, which to avoid. He could have left the cage. He could have gone out and get whatever he wanted to eat anywhere. But he's trying to figure out, what should I avoid, what should I do? He did not even notice the door is open. That is the situation of the living entity in this world. We forget where I need to go. I am independent, I am free, I can do whatever I want, but we are trying to figure out, do good, avoid bad, do good, avoid bad. Let me try to do this, be good. That is Sakama Karma. People get into this conditioning of Karma Kanda, ritualistic activities. They can go to spiritual world and enjoy as much as they want, but they forget the real purpose of life. So that is Sakama Karma. So beyond Sakama Karma comes Karama Yoga. We try to give the result of our activity to God. So Karama Yoga means connecting our work with God, connecting our action, connecting through our action with God. Like sometimes people open their business on the name of God. Krishna Jewelers, Krishna Caterers, Gokula Ghee. What is that? So they have connected their business with Krishna. The benefit, some portion of the benefit of their income, some portion of their income, they are engaging in service of Krishna, right? Okay, 10% or 20% or 30% of our income, we will give it to Krishna service. So giving the result of your action to serve Krishna, that is Karama Yoga. So the person is attached to his work, but he gives a portion of result to Krishna. So that is Karama Yoga. Many people think Karama Yoga means हमें तो कर्म करना है, बस कर्म करना है, कर्म ही पूजा है, काम ही पूजा है, work is worship. How many of you have heard that statement, right? Work is worship. काम ही पूजा है. There is a difference in karma and karma yoga. 99% of the people, they don't understand the difference. They think karma is karma yoga, it's same thing. So every karmi thinks I'm a karma yogi. So you have to go to work hard, day and night like asses, and he thinks I'm a karma yogi. Karma yogi really means when you give the result of your action to Krishna. So in Bhagavad-Gita, there is a very beautiful verse where Krishna describes this concept of Karama Yoga. This work is a very often quoted verse, but very misunderstood verse. How many of you have seen that Mahabharata serial, right? B.R. Chopra. So in the casting, actually this verse was getting recited. See, first there will be the verse of Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya, those verses will come. Then this verse also comes. Karmannevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sango astava karmani. So this is a very often quoted verse, but very misunderstood verse. People think Krishna ने कहा है Bhagavad-Gita में. Krishna said in Bhagavad-Gita, do your karma. हमें तो कर्म करना है. We have to just do our action. We have to just do our work. Is it really what Krishna is speaking in Bhagavad-Gita? So what does Krishna say? If we understand this verse, there are 4 sections of this verse. Karmanye vadhikaraste, you have the right to perform your duty. Adhikar. What is the meaning of adhikar?
Right.
Right. Right? So you have the right to do your duty. You have the right to go to office. You have the right to open your shop. You have the right to plow the land. So you have the right to do your duty. अधिकार है तुम्हारा अपना काम करने का. मा फलेषु कदाचना. But don't think you are the enjoyer of the result also. Ma faleshu kadachana. Whatever is the result of that activity, do not think that's under your control. Or you are the enjoyer of that result. And then, next statement, Krishna says, Ma karma phala hetur bhur. Hetu. What is the meaning of hetu? Anybody knows the Sanskrit word hetu or Hindi word? What is the meaning of hetu?
Cause.
The cause. So first Krishna says, yes, you have the right to perform your duty, but you are not entitled to the result. You don't think the result, you own that result. And next Krishna says, don't think yourself to be the doer of that work also. You don't think I am the cause of finishing that work. Ma karma phala hetur bhur. But we do work in this world, we do work, our office work, our household work and everything. And what do we think?
I'm doing.
I am doing this. See, because of me this work is finished. I am the project leader. I am the leader of this program. Because of me this is happening. If I don't do this, how will it happen? I wrote this nice program, software program. So we have that mentality. Somebody is playing cricket. Just imagine. Somehow I love to give this cricket example. Many cricket fans. Somebody is playing cricket. India-Pakistan cricket match going on. Last over of the match. The team needs 24 runs in the last over, 6 balls. Somebody who is on the field, on the crease, is hitting sixer, 4 and sixer. Last ball, 4 runs needed to win the match. And the player in the front of wickets, he hits a shot and hits a sixer. Match is won. And this person thinks, what does he think?
Because of me.
I did it. I am the man. I am the man of the match. See, because of me, we won this match. So what is that mentality? I am the doer. But what is Krishna saying? Yes, do your work. Don't think the result is in your control. Don't think you are the doer of that work. Ma karma phala hetur bhur. And the 4th statement. Now if Krishna had thrown these 3 googlies, you don't control the result. You are not the cause because of which the work happened. The person may think, then why should even I do? Right? If I am not the controller or the enjoyer of the result, if I am not the cause of the result, why should I even act? Why should I even do the work? Better I just sit like a lazy couch potato. I don't do anything at all then. So that's why Krishna says the 4th statement. Karama phala heturbhur mate sango astava karmani. Don't get attached to not doing your duty. You still do your duty. Don't think that, okay, then I will not even do my work then. What is the point of doing work? But you do your work. So don't get attached to not doing the work. So that is Karama Yoga. That you do your work, but you surrender the result of your work to Krishna. Not getting attached to the result of your work. So that is the beginning, or that is Karama Yoga, which Krishna is describing. And the further Krishna says, here in that verse, Krishna did not speak whom you should give your result to. Sorry? In that statement, Krishna only said, you should not get attached to your result. Krishna did not say where you should offer your result. So next, there is another verse. Mai saravani karmani sanyasadhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatah jvara. Therefore, hey Arjuna, surrender all your work unto me with full knowledge of me, without desire for profit, with no claims to proprietorship and free from lethargy, fight. Because Arjuna's duty was to fight. He was a Kshatriya. Our duty is just you go to your work, your occupation, your job or your shop or whatever you are doing, right? As per the legitimate ways. Not like, okay, I'm a thief, so my duty is to do theft. I am a robber, my duty is to do robbery. Not that kind of work. It's not prescribed work. So you do your prescribed work, but surrender the result unto me. Mai sarvani karamani sanyasadhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva bhigatah jvara. So you work with full enthusiasm, full energy, but without any claim of proprietorship, without any claim of enjoyer mentality. So that is Karama Yoga. So with Karama Yoga, we lift up ourselves, we start to connect ourselves with Lord. And then the higher stage is Gyan Yoga. What is Gyan Yoga? Understanding what is this material nature. What is this Prakriti made up of? There are 26 elements or 24 elements which are the various causes of this creation. Understanding ultimately everything will be done, everything will be finished. Why should I get attached to this world? So theoretically understanding all these different concepts, that is Gyan Yoga. Understanding ultimately everything belongs to God. But with Gyan Yoga, just not theoretical understanding, one need to move further up also. So people do a lot of theoretical study of the Shastras. They want to read the Vedas, they want to read the Upanishads. They want to gain that knowledge, understand this material creation, the different elements of material nature. And sometimes many people conclude, I am everything, Aham Brahmasmi. They misunderstand the meaning of Aham Brahmasmi. What is the meaning of Aham Brahmasmi? Anybody has heard that statement? Aham Brahmasmi. What is the meaning of that?
Ultimately, you and I are the same.
So that is mostly how it is understood. Ultimately, you and I are same. Aham Brahmasmi. I am also Brahman. मेरे अंदर ब्रह्म है. Aham Brahmasmi. I am like Brahman. It's not that I am Brahman. You and I are same. We are become equal. Then it is competition. You and I are equal. But when you say, I am like Brahman, I am also part and parcel of Brahman. That is the real understanding of Aham Brahmasmi.
Or we can understand we are the portion of the Brahman.
We are the portion of the Brahman. So for example, we have some qualities, right? The first or second day we talked about the various opulences of the Lord. We also have those opulences. We have strength, we have fame, we have little beauty, we have little intelligence, we have little knowledge. But all these things very minute in us. But the Supreme Lord, He is all these quality unlimited. We have minute. So we also have these qualities. So I am also like Brahman, but I am minute. So there is Anu and there is Vibhu. I am Anu, he is Vibhu. That is the difference. Yes, I am also like Brahman, but I am Anu. Like a particle of gold and the gold mine. Particle of gold has same quality as the gold mine, right? The particle of gold, it's also 24 karat gold. So what do you call as a 1/10 of a milligram is also same quality as a 1 kg of gold, but the quantity is different. The same way we are part and parcel of that same Supreme Lord. Our quality, in quality, yes, we have same, but quantity we are very minute. But with theoretical understanding of scripture, sometimes people get into that wrong understanding. They start thinking, I am also God, you are also God, he is also God, everybody is God. Because when that theoretical knowledge is not combined with practical knowledge, practical application, it can lead to misunderstanding. For example, everybody is taught this mango tree is a very nice tree, it's very useful. It gives nice fruit. Right? So this mango tree is very nice. So you understood. Yes, this mango tree is very nice. After that, what do you do?
try to eat.
You will try to
Take that and eat.
take the fruit and eat. Right? That is one thing. Yes, I just take the fruit and eat. Another person, even though he understood this mango tree is very useful, he will go and cut the mango tree. And there's another person who thinks, yes, this mango tree is very useful. I should nourish this mango tree. I should water the roots of this mango tree so that other people can also take the benefit. There will be different category of people. So what example you gave, I will go and eat, that is Sakama Karmi. God is there. Let me go to God and ask for, give me something, give me something. There is another person who has got a theoretical understanding and he starts thinking, I am also God. So he doesn't care for God, he's put himself on that place. He wants to be the enjoyer of everything. Cutting down the root of the tree. The third person, oh, God is the cause of everything. He's the source of everything. I should serve God. The people with different mentality. So with one understanding, theoretical understanding, one can lead to the wrong conclusion. So that is, yes, Gyan Yoga, it can help us connect with the Supreme Lord. It gives us some theoretical understanding. So it can lead to some impersonalism mentality, impersonal, transcendentalist. But Bhagavad-Gita says that's a very troublesome path. If somebody starts thinking, oh, God is just some energy, it is just made up of these elements, everything else, it's automatically happening and this and that. It leads to impersonal mentality, which is a very troublesome path. But if that same Gyan Yogi, he is connected with Bhakti Yogi, the devotees, he can elevate himself to the higher platform. So in Bhagavad-Gita 12.5, Lord Krishna speak about this impersonal mentality, impersonalism. What is impersonalism? God is just some energy. He has no form. That aspect is also there, right? We talked about three different aspects of the Supreme Lord. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaniti, Shabdate. He is Brahman also, he is Paramatma, localized super soul, and he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if somebody is only attached towards the impersonal aspect of the God, Krishna says that path is very troublesome to progress. Kalesho adhiktaras tesham avyakta asakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham deva abhir vapyate. So for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, the advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is very difficult for those who are embodied. Now let's talk about Ashtanga Yoga. So we talked about Karama Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. So yes, all these yoga systems, they help us progress, but not that they can link us, completely help us to reach the final goal. So Ashtanga Yoga, we talked about yoga, right, earlier. People think yoga means some meditation, some posture. So Ashtanga Yoga, yes, it is a recommended process in scripture, which is referred as Ashtanga Yoga. And Krishna also speak about Ashtanga Yoga in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. What is the Ashtanga Yoga process? So it's a meditative process to control the mind and senses for focusing on the Supreme Lord. There are very strict rules and regulation to follow in this process of Ashtanga Yoga. But there is a danger of falling down in the trap of many different things. There is an external distraction, there is an internal distraction, and there is a risk of getting some mystic power and getting entrapped because of those mystic powers. So this Ashtanga Yoga, it is very impossible practically to perform in this Kali Yuga. Why? Because Krishna described to perform this Ashtanga Yoga, what are the different rules and regulation? Krishna says you have to leave the house, go to the forest, to a secluded place, lay a bed of kusha grass, sit on that, erect straight your body, neck, nose, head in an erect position, straight position, in that way, without distracted with any external things, completely following the vows of celibacy. You absorb yourself on the Supreme Lord. So that is the process, the rules and regulation of Ashtanga Yoga, which Krishna very briefly described in Bhagavad-Gita, 6th chapter. That one has to leave the house, go to a secluded place. In Kali Yuga, do we find any secluded place? Do we have any secluded place?
Forest.
Forest, go to forest. Even you go to forest, there are picnic spots now in the forest. People go in the forest area, like in the kind of a secluded place for making picnic, camping. Right? In America, this is a very famous concept. Go for camping. Where do they go for camping? Outside of the city, kind of in the forest area. But those forest area also made into picnic zones. And first of all, even if you go there, if let's say if you find some secluded place, no place is actually a secluded place. There's planes going from the sky, zoom, zoom, this plane, that plane. After every few minutes, there is a aeroplane flying above you. What is the secluded place left? So first of all, there is no secluded place. And then on top of that, we don't have the capacity to perform that kind of austerity. All these yoga studios who claim we are doing yoga, how many of are following these standards? Go to a secluded place, follow the vows of celibacy. These yoga studios are for what purpose? Get healthy, get health benefit, so you can enjoy more. Right? That yoga is not to perform austerity. That yoga is to enjoy more. So this Ashtanga Yoga process is nearly impossible in Kali Yuga. And moreover, this Ashtanga Yoga process, there are 8 limbs of this Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga, that is called Ashtanga. Ashtanga, 8 limbs. What are these 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga? So I have described here. Yam, Niyam. Then Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar. Then comes Dharna, Dhyan, and highest is Samadhi. So the first 2 are Yam and Niyam. Yama means the restraints, not to do. So there are certain things which are not to be done. You don't do this, you don't do this, you don't do this. So there are certain yamas. And then niyama. Niyama means to do. What kind of things to be done. So one has to first follow yama and niyama. After following yama and niyama, you perform asana. Asana is those physical postures. Shirshasana, Padmasana. And then Pratyahar. What is Pratyahar? Ahar. Ahar means food. So Pratyahar means you limit your intake of food. Most of the time we think ahar means the food which we eat only, that is ahar. So that is the food for the stomach. But all our senses have a food for them. Right? Our eyes has a certain type of food. We want to watch something. Ears has a certain type of food. We want to hear something. Nose has a certain type of food. You want to smell something. So Pratyahar is not just cutting down on your eating. It's cutting down on your sense enjoyment. That is Pratyahar really mean. So Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pratyahar, then comes Pranayam. Pranayam is breathing technique, breathing exercise. Inhaling, exhaling. अपना नाक इधर से दबाओ, इधर से सांस छोड़ो, लंबा लंबा सांस छोड़ो. Hey, people do this exercise, pranayam. Okay, press your nose from this side and then have a deep breathing. Hold it for 5 seconds, then exhale. Then now press on the other side and then deep breathing, then exhale. So people do that, inhaling, exhaling, those breathing exercise. Yes, it gives you some physical benefit, some mental relief, mental benefit, but it's temporary. Half an hour you did that, so you feel very nice. After that, is the mind fully controlled for the 24 hours of the day after that? It again starts to bother. It again starts to trouble. So pranayam, and then comes dharana. Dharana means when you sit in meditation for a certain period of time, let's say half an hour, 1 hour. You are holding it for a shorter duration of time. That is called dharana. So when somebody is in that meditational pose, First of all, what does the meditation really mean? Here, Ashtanga Yoga, yoga means to connect with the Supreme, and everything, all these, whatever these different limbs are performed for the pleasure of the Lord. So, yama, niyama, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dhyana, everything is connected with God. So, you are trying to absorb your consciousness on the Supreme Lord. That is really dharana, dhyan and dharana. Dhyana means to meditate on certain thing, right? But people, what is the object of meditation? People who claim we are doing some dhyana
For a peace of mind.
for a peace of mind, but what is the object? Object of meditation.
Happiness.
That is the purpose, the goal of meditation. The object of meditation. On what object do they meditate? Sometimes people will say, oh, put a dot on the wall and just focus on that dot. Have a candle in front of you, focus on that candle flame. Just keep meditating, keep looking at that candle flame. Just focus on that. Don't think about anything else. Just focus on a circle on the wall. So people want to meditate on some artificial object. But the real purpose of dhyana is meditate on the Supreme Lord. That is dhyana. So dhyana is, dharana. So dharana, from dharana we progress to dhyana. So in a dharana you do that for shorter duration of time, but there is a risk of getting deviated externally also, internally also. External means from external distractions. There is some noise. So you are sitting in dhyana, right? Dharana. Close eyes, you are just trying to meditate on certain thing. But then there is some noise going on, some filmy song playing on, some kids are playing around, they are making noise. So your distractions are there, your mind is getting distracted. And then there is an internal distraction. Mind is going to different objects. It's thinking about, oh, I need to eat this. My wife is cooking this thing, so I'm going to eat that today. So internal distractions, right? Various thoughts. So there is external distraction also, internal distraction also. And then you come to the stage of Dhyana. Dhyana means you do that for longer duration of time. And then one further progresses to the stage of Samadhi. Samadhi means when you have cut down the external distractions. And all the internal distractions also have gone away. There's no thoughts are going on other object. You're completely in the stage of trance. Nothing distraction. Somebody is ringing the bell close to your ear. You're not distracted. Mind is not going to various thoughts. Complete control on the mind and senses. That is the stage of Samadhi. So, in previous slide, I showed this example of Vishwamitra sitting in meditation, Dhyana. Right? There is a famous example of Vishwamitra who was trying to do Dhyana. He is performing severe austerity. But what happened?
Distracted.
Menaka comes, the little tinkling of the ankle bells, little clashing of the bangles, his attention, Vishwamitra's dhyan disturbed. Because Vishwamitra originally, earlier, he was a king, right? And he had so much opulences, he had enjoyed in so many ways, and all those impressions are there. And when some external distraction come, the mind again start going to those thoughts. This is how I used to enjoy. This is what I used to do. So with little external distraction, Vishwamitra Dhyan, his Samadhi was disturbed and he came out of the Samadhi. All the result was gone. So Ashtanga Yoga, yes, it is a powerful process. It was there more beneficial in a particular stage. Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga, people will do dhyana for thousands and thousands of years. But in Kali Yuga, that's not possible. First of all, there is no place, secluded place. We don't have that duration of life. Our duration of life is what? At the most 80, 90, 100 years. And then our mind is so restless. Our senses are so restless. And then comes... So, as I said in Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says how the Ashtanga Yoga can be performed. Go to a secluded sacred place. Regulate your eating, sleeping, recreation and work. Lead a life of complete celibacy. In that way, you can perform that Ashtanga Yoga. Lay a kusha grass on the ground. Cover it with deer skin, neither too high nor too low. Completely devoid of material desires, the yogi should concentrate the mind on the super soul, on Paramatma. So when Krishna spoke this process of Ashtanga Yoga to Arjuna, which was 5,000 years ago, Arjuna was a powerful warrior. What did Arjuna say? When Krishna told this process of Ashtanga Yoga, this is how you should do. What did Arjuna say? Too difficult. I can't do this. It is too difficult to control the mind. Arjuna said, I can control the wind, but I cannot control this mind. So look at the situation of Arjuna. He was such a powerful warrior, but he said, this process seems impractical for me. This is too difficult. I cannot follow this process. What is our situation then? What is our hope? Follow this process of Ashtanga Yoga. See, still there are many people who claim, oh, we are a yogi. We want to do Dhyana. What Dhyana? You do Dhyana for 15-20 minutes. What will happen with that? You can get all of maybe 15 minutes of peace of mind, but more than that. And then we come to this topic of this eightfold mystic perfections. Sometimes people think they can develop some mystic powers by performing this Ashtanga Yoga for a longer duration of time. There are many yogis who go to Himalayas, perform austerity for years and years, and they develop some sort of mystic power. And people start to think mystic power as some sort of spirituality. So we should understand mystic power is not spirituality. Mystic power is some material power. What kind of mystic powers are there? There are 8 different siddhis. Mystic powers are explained. Anima, Laghima, Mahima, Prapti, Ishita, Prakamya, Vashita and Kama Vashita. These are the 8 type of siddhis which are explained. And the purpose of getting this siddhi is not to make a show of these siddhis. See, I am such a spiritual person. First of all, this siddhi doesn't mean spirituality. These are some material achievements. What is this siddhi? Anima. So what is anima means? Power by which one can become so small that it can enter inside the stone also. That is anima. Somebody can get that kind of mystic power. Hanumanji from Ramayana, we hear. Hanumanji had all these 8 siddhis, not 1 or 2. He had all these 8 siddhi. If you read Hanuman Chalisa, what is the statement at the end? Ashta siddhi navanidhi ke data. He has all these 8 siddhi and it can give to others also. Ashta siddhi navanidhi ke data. So Hanumanji had all these 8 siddhis. He could become so small that he can enter inside. So becoming small, he entered through the gate of Lanka. So but if somebody gets these siddhis, it doesn't mean he start claiming, now I have become God. But that is what happened in this world. People get little siddhi, little mystic power, and they start considering themselves that, oh, I have become God now. See, people, they go to them, they pay obeisances to them, they start calling them, you are God. And these people have so many followers. They are enjoying. Others are calling me God. Right? There are so many yogi, babas, dhongis who start considering themselves as God. Somebody did some hand like this and called some vibhuti from the air, called a little drop of gold, or caught an apple from somewhere. I am such a mystic power. I have so many mystic powers. I am God. Yes, there are mystic powers there, but these mystic powers are material powers. So Anima Siddhi, then there is Laghima Siddhi. Laghima Siddhi is one becomes so light that he can float in the air, or he can walk on the water. He has become so light. That is called Laghima Siddhi. We see yogis who can lift themselves up in the air, few feet high, who can walk on the water, who can walk on the fire. So what is that Siddhi? That is Laghima Siddhi. Mahima Siddhi. The person can become heavier than a mountain. Any examples?
Anjane.
Hanuman, yes, he became so big He assumed such a gigantic form that he crossed over the ocean in one jump. So people can get these siddhis, and Krishna, he has all these siddhis. See, having these siddhis, yes, God has all these siddhis, but somebody having all these siddhis doesn't mean he has become God. That is the difference. Understand the difference? God also has all these siddhis, but God is not just because of having these siddhis. And if somebody get all these 8 siddhi or some of these siddhi, doesn't mean he has become God. Krishna also has all these siddhis. Krishna became so heavy. When Dharna lifted Krishna up in the air, he took Krishna up in the sky. Krishna became so heavy, heavier than a mountain. This Dharna could not lift Krishna anymore. So Krishna possesses all these opulences, all these powers. But somebody assuming having these power doesn't mean he has become God. So Mahima Siddhi and then Prapti Siddhi, as I said, Prapti means to get something. Right? There are some yogis who are sitting and there is a lot of audience there, a lot of disciples are there, and this person just moves his hand and brings some vibhuti from the air. Or he plucks some apple from somewhere. Yes, he can extend his hand. Sitting at one place, he can bring pomegranate from Afghanistan. That is Prapti Siddhi. But many times these yogis don't really have a mystic power. It is just a magic show. Right? As a magician on the stage, he does some magic trick. He gets something out of somewhere else. But because he has hidden it somewhere, and he just brings it out of his trick. Many of the yogis, they just do this as a trick. Not really as a mystic power. So Prapti Siddhi and Ishita Siddhi. Ishita Siddhi is to create and destroy an entire planet at will. That is Ishita Siddhi. Story from Ramayana. Vishwamitra, he created an entire planet for Trishanku. Trishanku, he went to Vashishtaji. That please send me to Swarga. And Vashish said, you are not eligible to go to Swarga. Trishanku, because he was a very sinful person. So Trishanku, he came to Vishwamitra and he told Vishwamitra, see, I went to Vashishta and Vashishta denied me. So I have approached you. You please send me to Swarga. And Vishwamitra had a little tussle with Vashishta. So Vashishta did not send you. Yes, I will send you. So Vishwamitra, with his mystic power, he started sending Trishanku up to Swarga. And all these devatas, they saw Trishanku coming up in the Swarga. They said, this person is not eligible to enter Swarga. Send him down. So they started pushing him down. Vishwamitra is with his mystic power sending him up. They are sending him down. So Trishanku is stuck. And when Vishwamitra was not able to send him to this Swarga, Vishwamitra said, I will create a new planet for you like a Swarga. So Vishwamitra, out of his mystic power, Ishita Siddhi, he created an entire new planet and sent Trishanku there. But because Trishanku had no pious credit to enjoy, Trishanku was hanging upside down, not able to enjoy there also. So, but the point I am saying here is Ishita Siddhi. Somebody can get a power to create an entire planet. And there is another Siddhi called Vashita Siddhi. Vashita Siddhi is hypnotism. To control somebody. So now also we see some people have that skill, hypnotism, they can control somebody. See, originally Vashita Siddhi means they can control somebody's mind and take him in the past to know their past life, past background. The person describe, oh, in my past life I was like this, I saw this thing, I saw that thing. So that is Vashita Siddhi. Controlling the person. And Prakamya Siddhi. Prakamya Siddhi is you can enter at one place and come out from another place. Somebody enters into Gandaki rivers and comes out of Detroit river. And that is Prakamya Siddhi. So there are many yogis who have that kind of Siddhi. In Kumbh Mela, you will see somebody enters into the water, he just disappears from there. At a different place he comes out. What is that? Prakamya Siddhi. And then Kama Vashita Siddhi. Kama Vashita Siddhi is changing the rules of the nature. That is also possible. To change the natural laws of the Prakriti. The 4 Kumaras, they had Kama Vashita Siddhi. They were able to enter, crossing beyond this material world, they were allowed to enter into spiritual world. Because of their mystic power. So traveling at will, right? People, there are yogis who can travel from one planet to another planet. We have heard those pastimes also, those stories also in the scripture. Pandu Maharaj, when he was in the forest living with his two wives, so he was given the curse. So after that, he renounced everything, and once the sages were they were traveling, so and he started walking behind them. And the sages said, "Where are you coming?" He said, "I am also coming with you." They said, "No, we are going to Brahmaloka. We are going to the higher planets. You are not eligible. You are not allowed to come there." So those sages, they were able to travel to different planets, different planetary system. That is Kamya Vashita Siddhi. So like that, there are mystic power, but all these powers, they are material gains. One should not mistaken them equal to being spirituality. There is a difference in material and spiritual. So Ashtanga Yoga process, yes, if we absorb ourselves completely on the Supreme Lord, we can connect ourselves with the Supreme Lord. One can cross beyond this material world and enter into the impersonal effulgence, the Brahma Jyoti. And one can gain these kind of mystic powers also. But ultimately, that is also not the foolproof process to connect us with the Supreme Lord. Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlabha. Bahunam janmanam ante. After many, many lives, Jnanavan mama prapadyate. A person who is really in knowledge, he understands me. He comes to me. He surrenders unto me. Jnanavan mama prapadyate. Vasudeva sarvamiti. Vasudeva is everything. He is the source of everything. He is the enjoyer of everything. He is the controller of everything. Sa mahatma sudurlabha. That soul is very rare. Mahatma. We hear the word Mahatma. So what is the definition of Mahatma? What is the meaning of Mahatma? Mahan Atma, right? Mahatma means Mahan Atma. But who is considered really Mahan Atma? Somebody who is doing a lot of charity, somebody who is serving others, doing good for others. Is that the person really considered Mahatma? We have given the title of Mahatma to many people in the history. But Krishna's words, what is really a Mahatma? Mahatma is not just that, okay, he is a good person, he is doing very great, wonderful things. But Mahatma is really somebody who surrenders himself to Krishna. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. That soul is very rare. So now we come to the process of Bhakti Yoga. So we talked about Karama Yoga, we talked about Gyan Yoga, we talked about Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and now Bhakti Yoga. So what is Bhakti Yoga? Bhakti Yoga is described in Bhagavad-Gita also. Krishna talk about Bhakti Yoga, and then Srimad Bhagavatam is mainly talking about Bhakti Yoga elaborately. So in Bhagavad-Gita, what does Krishna say about Bhakti Yoga?
12th chapter is Bhakti Yoga.
So 12th chapter is described, the title of the 12th chapter is called Devotional Service, right? So that chapter itself in the essence is Bhakti Yoga, the quality of a devotee. Krishna talk about that in the last set of verses. But in the 9th chapter also, 7th chapter also, 18th chapter also, Krishna talk about the essence of Bhakti Yoga. So what is Bhakti Yoga? Surrendering ourselves to Krishna. Surrendering everything to Krishna. So what does Krishna say in 9th chapter? Patram pushpam phalam toyam jo me bhaktya prachati. Whatever you eat, patram pushpam phalam toyam. So whatever, if you offer to me with love, either leaf or a flower or a water or patram pushpam phalam, fruits. So whatever you offer to me, I accept it if it's offered with love and devotion. And then Krishna says, Yat karoshi, yat asnasi, yat yuhosi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. That is Bhakti Yoga. Yat karoshi, whatever you do. Yat asanasi, whatever you eat. Yat yuhosi, whatever tapasya you perform. Whatever you give away, juhosi. Yat tapasyasi, whatever austerities you perform, tat kurushva mad arpanam. Do that as an offering to me. So whatever you eat, first offer to Krishna. Whatever you give as a charity, give it for the sake of Krishna. If you are offering food to other, give them prasad. Yes, you want to feed the poor, feed. Who is stopping you? Just feeding the poor is a pious activity. So spiritualize your pious activity. Feed them prasad. First offer the food to Krishna and feed them prasad. So yat kuroshi, yat asanasi, yat yuhosi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. You want to do some austerity? You are following some vrata, you are following some vows, do that as an offering to me. Observe Ekadashi Vrata, observe Vrata on Krishna's special occasions, Janmashtami, Ramnavami, all these different festivals. And then finally conclusion, Krishna says, Mad mana bhava mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru. What is that? Is that Karama Yoga? Is that Gyan Yoga? Is that Dhyana Yoga?
Bhakti Yoga.
That is Bhakti Yoga. Mad mana bhava, engage your mind in me. Mad bhakto, Krishna is using the word bhakto. Mad bhakto, become my devotee. Mam namaskuru, pay your obeisances unto me. In that way you will surely come to me. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma shuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion. So when Krishna says Sarva dharman parityajya, abandon all varieties of religion, what religion is Krishna talking about? Is Krishna saying leave your Hindu dharma, leave your Christian dharma, leave your Sikh dharma, leave your Muslim dharma, surrender all your dharma, give up all your dharma and surrender into it? So what dharma Krishna is really talking about? What is the dharma which is spoken about here? If you go with the literal dictionary definition of dharma, then that's what they will call as dharma. We have to understand what Krishna is saying, not what dictionary word is saying. What is dharma? What is our real nature here? Out of your real tendency, whatever you act. So we have so many dharma as a human being. You have putra dharma, you have pati dharma, patni dharma. All these various dharmas are there. Krishna said, you have all those responsibilities. Above all that, your responsibility is to surrender unto me. So, sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Keep me in the center. So, that is Bhakti Yoga. And how we perform Bhakti Yoga practically. Just as a summary, because our next session is practical spirituality. In this day and time, how do we connect ourselves with Krishna? How do we perform devotional service, or how do we perform spiritual activity? So that is the final session of this series, practical spirituality. But talking about Bhakti Yoga here, Bhakti Yoga is described as that there are 9 limbs of Bhakti, 9 limbs of devotion, which are spoken by Prahlad Maharaj in Bhagavatam. Prahlad Maharaj says, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. So Shravanam, hearing about Krishna, Kirtanam, singing the glories of Krishna or Vishnu. So Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam, remembering Krishna. Padasevanam, serving the Supreme Lord. Archanam, Vandanam. Archanam means offering various things. Vandanam means offering your prayers. Dasyam, serving Krishna as the servant. Accepting ourselves as a servant of Krishna. Ekala Ishwar Krishna or Saba Bhritya. Everybody else is servant of Krishna. So Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam. Developing a friendly relation with Krishna. Accepting Krishna as your most dear well-wisher. Most dear friend. Atma Nivedanam. Surrendering everything to Krishna. What is the meaning of surrendering everything to Krishna?
Anything I am doing, I have to say.
Yeah, anything I am doing, you do it for Krishna. You submit it to Krishna. That's why there is a difference in Sakama Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Right? Or Karama Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. What is the difference? The difference is in Karama Yoga, you are doing your work you're submitting the result to Krishna, portion of your result, but you're attached to your work. In Bhakti Yoga, you are doing the work for Krishna. Understand the difference? I will say again, Karama Yoga, you are doing your work, your regular activity, you're submitting the portion of result to Krishna. In Bhakti Yoga, not just the result of your work, you are submitting the work itself to Krishna. You are surrendering the work itself to Krishna. So that is Bhakti Yoga. For example, now speaking about Krishna, right? Giving the knowledge about Krishna to others. The work itself is for Krishna. Serving Krishna, dressing Krishna, cooking for Krishna, making garlands for Krishna, all that. What is that? You are doing the work itself for Krishna. That is Bhakti Yoga. So doing the work itself for Krishna, submitting our work itself as well as the result of the work. That also should not happen that, okay, I am doing the work for Krishna, but at least I want the result for myself. That also should not happen. So that is the process of Bhakti Yoga. And now, out of these four, we talked about Karama Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Gyan Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. What is the practical possibility in Kali Yuga? All four system of yoga are mentioned in scripture, no doubt in that. But for Kali Yuga, what is the process recommended in this day and time? It says in Bhagavatam, Krite yadhyayato Vishnu, Tretayam yajato makhe, Dwapare paricharyayam, Kalau tadhari kirtanat. So Krite yadhyayato Vishnu. In Satya Yuga, the recommended process of self-realization was meditation, Dhyana. In Treta Yuga, the process of self-realization was elaborate yagyas. People will perform big yagyas. Ashamegh yagya, Rajasuya yagya. And in performing those yagyas, it needs many ingredients, many qualified brahmanas and everything, which is not possible in Kali Yuga. First of all, there are no qualified brahmanas to recite those mantras with purity. There are no pure ingredients available. Can you buy pure ghee, pure butter, pure grains? These is GMO. What do you offer in the yajna? So there is no qualified brahmanas, there are no qualified pure ingredients. So how we can perform yajna? And there is no way of performing yoga, Ashtanga Yoga in this Kali Yuga, because earlier, yes, duration of life was thousands of years. In Kali Yuga, duration of life is 100 years. After 50 years, person become useless to sit cross-legged. I'm having difficulty sitting cross-legged. So there are so many problems, we cannot perform that. So that was possible in Satya Yuga, it's not possible now. Yagyas was possible in Treta Yuga, it's not possible now. In Dwapara Yuga, what was the recommended process? Dwapare paricharyayam. In Dwapare, elaborate temple worship. So people will perform elaborate temple worship in Dwapara Yuga. There was, now also we see there are thousands and lakhs of temple, big temple. In Dwapara Yuga, there was elaborate temples and the deities were made of gold. And there is so elaborate process of worship was there, so much purity was there. There are pastimes from the time of Ramanujacharya actually, 1000 years back. What to speak of Dwapara Yuga? So much purity was used. Person is taking an offering to Krishna to make an offering to the Lord. And as he is entering, he touched his hand on the top of the door. On the door there may be some dust particle there. So because he touched his hand somewhere and he is holding the offering to the Lord, I think this has become contaminated. I cannot offer that to the Lord. Again, I have to set it aside and make a new offering. That was the standard. Can you imagine? If we go with that standard, Krishna will go hungry. You will not be able to offer anything to Krishna if you follow those standards today. So what kind of temple worship we can do? Yes, still we are doing temple worship, no doubt. There are temples are there, we are following that. That is for our benefit to maintain some standards. To bring some regulation in our life. Still, temple worship is going on. But as the Kali Yuga progresses more and more, it will still keep going on eliminating. So what is the recommended process in Kali Yuga? Kalau tad hari kirtanad. In Kali Yuga, the recommended process is the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that is the recommended process which is described in the Shastras. In the Upanishads, in many Puranas, this mantra is mentioned. It says, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranyatha. In Kali Yuga, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way than the chanting of the name of Hari, chanting of the name of Hari, chanting the name of Hari. That is the recommended process. And what is that process? Is that Karama Yoga? Is that Gyan Yoga? Is that Dhyana Yoga?
Bhakti Yoga.
That is Bhakti Yoga, Shravanam Kirtanam, right? Hearing and chanting. So that is the recommended process for Kali Yuga. Along with that, yes, we can perform temple worship. Yes, we can perform little Dhyana also. Devotees do little meditation in the morning, right? Do some asana for physical benefit. Devotees also do. But that is not for self-realization. That is for health benefit. They understand that. They know that. So that is the conclusion, the Bhakti Yoga out of all these. Now, all these are independent process. They are the different rungs of the same ladder, taking us higher and higher and higher. Even a Karama Yogi has to take shelter of Bhakti eventually to progress further. Even a Gyan Yogi has to take shelter of Bhakti to progress further. Even a Ashtanga Yogi has to take shelter of Bhakti to progress further. Because Bhakti means remembering the Supreme Lord. Nobody can progress further without remembering the Supreme Lord, without chanting His name. So Satya Yuga, meditation on Lord Vishnu. Treta Yuga, expensive sacrifices. Dwapar Yuga, elaborate temple worship. These were the recommended processes. And in Kali Yuga, chanting of the holy name. Now, as I gave the example, see, all these different processes, they can be compared like a staircase. And Bhakti is like an elevator. So staircase, yes, one can slowly with difficulty move up. If one want to go from ground floor to 100th floor using staircase, one can go by using staircase, but it will be very troublesome. But elevator, one can immediately lift himself to the 100th floor. So Bhakti Yoga is like the elevator, which can lift you up very quickly to the spiritual platform. And all other processes are very difficult. And another difference, the example which I try to give every time. One example is the monkey carrying the little baby monkey. See, when a monkey is carrying a baby monkey, have you seen? What happens? If the monkey is jumping from one branch to another branch, from one tree to another tree, who is holding whom?
Baby is holding.
The baby is tightly holding to the mother monkey. It's not that the mother monkey is tightly carrying the baby. It's the responsibility of the baby monkey to tightly catch on to the mother monkey. She is jumping from one branch to another. That is the situation of a Karma Yogi or a Gyana Yogi or a Dhyana Yogi. They have to rely on their own strength to make progress in the path of spirituality. Whereas a Bhakti Yogi, another example is a cat and a kitten. So the cat carries the kitten, holds the kitten in her mouth with her teeth. She does not let the kitten fall. So wherever the mother cat is going, she is carrying the kitten, she is holding on to the kitten. And the kitten is just hanging around enjoying. It's not responsibility on the kitten. It's a responsibility of the mother cat. She's wherever she is going, wherever she is jumping around. That is Bhakti Yogi. Bhakti Yogi fully relies on the mercy of Krishna. He just goes on the ride. I am fully dependent on you. You carry me whatever way you want, whatever way you like. So that is the situation of a Bhakti Yogi. So will you like to be dependent on your own strength, or you will like to be dependent on somebody else's strength? So we want to rely on Krishna. My Lord, you do as you like. I am fully dependent on you. And the process of karma also, which we talked about last time also and briefly today. See, when we talk about karma, We should not make a stick of karma and try to beat others. Oh, it's so your own karma, that's why you are suffering. A person's responsibility is we use the concept of karma to analyze our own activity. That I don't want to do any bad action, or I don't want to commit any wrong things towards others. If something bad happened to us, what is the mentality of a Bhakti yogi? Whatever came to me is whatever Krishna's desire. But at the same time, when we do our action, you don't want to say, oh, Krishna made me do this, so what can I do? I'm just an instrument, but Krishna made me do this, so I did something wrong, that's okay. We should be very considerate of our action. We should be very conscious of our action. We don't want to commit something wrong. If something wrong happened to us, something bad happened to us, accepting it as the plan of Krishna. We have to understand these both scenarios. Generally what happens is, people think, if I did something wrong, Krishna made me do this wrong. Right? No, we say, no leaf moves without the will of God. भगवान की मर्जी के बिना एक पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता. So if I slapped somebody, Krishna made me slap him. If I screamed on somebody, if I yelled on somebody, if I did something, oh, it is the plan of Krishna. Person sometimes utilize the philosophy also in wrong way sometimes. अरे ये तो भगवान की मर्जी, भगवान ने ऐसा करवाना था तो हो गया. But we have to be very conscious of our own action, not putting the blame on Krishna. So it's in itself a big topic actually. I do a separate topic, separate seminar on this topic. Who is the real doer? Krishna speak about that in 3rd chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. Who is the real doer? Because sometimes people may say, right, there was a movie also, there are so many movie dialogue. मैंने उसको गोली मार दिया तो अरे मुझसे भगवान ने कराया, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ इसमें? Why you are blaming me? So who is the real doer? So we have to understand, we have to be conscious of our action. This concept of karma is to judge our action, not to judge others. That whatever result he is getting, it's because of his karma. So the difference in Gyan Yoga and Bhakti Yoga or Karama Yoga, Bhakti Yoga is the most sublime process to uplift ourselves from the 0 to 100, from the ground to the topmost destination, and while fully being dependent on Krishna. And in Kali Yuga, that is the recommended process, the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavad-Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Vrindanath ki jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.